Best DSLR Camera 2023. The best DSLR cameras are still a great investment for photographers in 2023. While the best mirrorless cameras are at the cutting edge of photographic tech, top DSLRs still benefit from big sensors, solid battery lives, and best-in-class handling. These features make them fantastic tools for beginners and professionals alike, and they remain the cheapest way to get a camera with a built-in viewfinder. Number 1. Nikon D3500. While experienced photographers should look further down this list for their DSLR match, the Nikon D3500 is the ideal choice for beginners who are looking to sharpen their photographic skills. Despite its age, the D3500 still has one of the finest APS-C sensors out there, and also comes with a neat retracting kit lens. Talking of this lens, it's worth spending the extra $20/PS20 and to get the VR version, vibration reduction, as this is Nikon's image stabilization system. In our tests, we were impressed by the Nikon D3500's battery life and its ease of handling. Most importantly, the results delivered by the camera's excellent sensor were top-notch. The D3500 is proof that you don't have to pay a fortune to get a great camera. Its controls are designed to be simple for novices, and in the right hands it's a match for cameras that cost a lot more. If you're looking to explore manual controls and benefit from a sensor that's far superior to any you'll find in a camera phone, the Nikon D3500 is certainly hard to beat. Number 2. Canon EOS 2000D/7/EOS 1500D. If you're buying your first DSLR camera on a tight budget, a simpler, slightly older model is the way to go. Canon's entry-level EOS Rebel 7, known as the 2000D outside the US, fits that bill. The specs won't blow anyone away, but we found it easy to use. It gets the basics right, and because it's a few years old, offers fantastic value. There are several compromises, of course. Burst shooting is limited to a lazy 3/5, and the dated autofocus system features just 9 points. Live view focusing is sluggish, and you'll need to look elsewhere if you want a touchscreen. And, as you'd expect, the plasticky shell does not feel premium. But there are good points for beginners, too. We felt the control layout is logical and easy to use, and battery life is solid. There's video recording too, albeit limited to 1008 AD. More importantly, in our test, the 24.1 MP sensor produces images with a good level of detail and decent dynamic range, while noise handling performance is solid. If you're looking to buy a good DSLR on a shoestring, the EOS Rebel 7/2000D is well worth considering. Number 3. Canon EOS 90D. The EOS 90D is quite the step forward for the EOS DSLR line. It's the first model of its kind to sport a 32.5 MP APS-C sensor, which is a generous amount of resolution for both cropping and making large prints. Unlike the earlier 80D, it also has uncropped 4K video recording, while a new processing engine and faster burst shooting are also highlights. The 1300-shot battery provides far more juice than you'll get from the average mirrorless camera, while protection against dust and water is also a bonus. In our review, we were impressed by the versatility of the 90D. It's an excellent all-rounder for those who like to photograph a broad range of different subjects. It's worth weighing up whether the benefits of a mirrorless alternative to the EOS 90D, like the Canon EOS M6 Mark Roman II, might appeal to you. The M6 Mark Roman II is smaller, cheaper, and offers faster burst shooting. But by focusing on key areas like battery life, handling, and the fully articulating rear screen, Canon has made the EOS 90D a strong and versatile alternative for anyone who prefers the DSLR shooting experience. Number 4. Nikon D780. The D780 is effectively a hybrid of a full-frame DSLR and a mirrorless camera like the original Nikon ZX. And while it's still relatively expensive, the D780's slight price drop since it landed in 2020 means it's now our top pick for anyone who wants to combine the benefits of mirrorless tech and DSLRs. Building on the solid foundation of the D750, which will remain on sale. See Note 8. The D780 has the same 273-point on-chip phase detection autofocus system as the ZX. However, it also brings an impressive 2,260-shot battery life. If you prefer to shoot through its optical viewfinder, we discovered in our review that image quality is among the best around, while its 4K video skills are boosted by the inclusion of modern features like face and eye detection. As a relatively new DSLR, it's still quite pricey. But if that isn't an issue for you, then it's one of the best full-frame all-rounders you can buy. The Nikon D780 is perhaps the best example yet of a DSLR reinventing itself for the mirrorless age. It's a very traditional-looking full-frame camera with an optical viewfinder, but underneath that old-school skin lies some of the same tech that you'll find in its cutting-edge Nikon Z cousin. In other words, it's something of a DSLR mirrorless hybrid. Number 5. Nikon D7500. Fancy the Nikon D500 but don't fancy the price tag? Well, if you're prepared to make a few compromises here and there, the D7500 is what you should be looking at. It's packed with the same 20.9 MP sensor as its more senior stablemate, and also matches it in offering 4K video recording. Nikon has also furnished it with the same 180-pixel RGB metering sensor, and the tilting screen on the back is just as large at 3.2 inches in size, although not quite as detailed. And it's all wrapped up inside a weather-sealed body. In our tests, we were impressed by a number of things, including battery life, image quality, and handling. It's a great all-rounder for those with a healthy amount of budget. On an even tighter budget, there's also the older 24.2 MP Nikon D7200, which continues to offer great value, if you can find it on sale. So what does it still bring to the table? Well, the D7500 remains a fine choice for shooting sports and action, thanks to its 8-spur shooting and generous buffer. Impressively for an enthusiast-level DSLR of its time, it also shoots 4K video at 30 fps, and with weather sealing and chunky handling. DSLR fans will right at home with the D7500's reassuringly weighty frame. Number 6. Canon EOS 250D. Canon's best budget DSLR, the Rebel SL3, also known as the EOS 250D outside the US, mixes a strong feature set with great handling, despite its small size. The Nikon D3500, no, one is even smaller still, but lacks this camera's flip-out LCD screen, which is particularly handy if you want to shoot video. The Rebel SL3 also adds 4K shooting to its now discontinued predecessor, although this is cropped and rolling shutter is often noticeable. Still, as we discovered in our in-depth test, it does offer pleasing JPEGs, a superb 1070-shot battery life, and compatibility with a huge range of EF lenses and other accessories that most mirrorless cameras lack. If those features are top of your camera wish list, then this beginner-friendly DSLR remains a compelling choice. Although Canon has some even cheaper models right at the bottom of its DSLR lineup in the shape of EOS Rebel 7/EOS 2000D and EOS Rebel T100/EOS 4000D, neither model made much of an impression when we came to test them. While those two cameras are still the cheapest way into the expansive EOS DSLR system, at least without looking towards the second-hand market, there's another option that gives users a few extra toys to play with, and a little more growing space, and with constant heat from affordable mirrorless cameras. That's only a good thing. Number 7. Canon EOS 6D Mark Roman II. Although it's a full-frame DSLR, the entry-level EOS 6D Mark Roman II is impressively user-friendly. While the chassis can feel rather plasticky, the 26MP sensor housed within is stellar, and offers Canon's trusty dual-pixel CMOS AF system when using live view mode. With 45 AF points to choose from and a burst speed of 6.5 fps, there's plenty you can capture, including some decent wildlife shots as well. It's not quite fast enough for speedy trackside racing shots, but we discovered in our review that it does surprisingly well for most anything else. The rear touchscreen also offers tap to focus and tap to shoot for anyone missing a joystick. Despite that, the 6D Mark Roman II is reliable, produces great results, and is still a favorite amongst enthusiast photographers. In the 5 years between the launch of the original 6D and its successor in 2017, a lot had changed, with not only Nikon offering some very tempting competition in the shape of the D610 and D750, but Sony's Alpha A7 and A7 Roman II offering another affordable route into full-frame photography. Of course, faster and more capable full-frame cameras have arrived since then too, but does the EOS 6D Mark Roman II still hold its own? Number 8. Canon EOS 5D Mark Roman IV. Canon's EOS 5D series of cameras has a rich heritage. The original EOS 5D brought full-frame photography to the masses. The Mark Roman II unleashed full HD video capture for the first time on a DSLR, and the Mark Roman III became a firm favorite among photographers for doing everything it did so well. The EOS 5D Mark Roman IV pretty much tweaks and improves on everything before it, with a 30.4 MP sensor and advanced 61.AF system along with 4K video recording, all of which we found to perform well in our tests, and with a 5D Mark V successor looking increasingly unlikely, it will continue to be one of the most compelling DSLRs at this price point. Naturally, those 4K video options are a little limited, with the frame rate topping out at 30 fps and no options to shoot in a flat gamma profile. But if you're mainly looking for a powerful DSLR for stills photography, the EOS 5D Mark Roman 4 remains a surprisingly modern proposition, considering its age, and the fact that you can still buy it new is a testament to its popularity.